Hi everyone, welcome back to my show, The Awareness Hub. As I've told in this podcast, in this particular show, we are going to learn a lot about the things that are happening in the world right now, right from content creation to influencer marketing to social media marketing to AI, Web3, you name it, we are going to learn everything. And as I've told, I'm going to do this by bringing in a lot of guests who are experts in their field, and they are going to share their insights, their knowledge and their experience with you people, which in turn makes you smarter. So in today's session, we have Nikhil with us, who is a very good content writer, digital marketing specialist, and he has also worked in Growth School. I think most people would have known what is Growth School. Growth School is a very good e-learning platform where they teach you everything, right from technology to content creation. They teach you everything. They bring in this top 1% experts from their particular field, and they teach you a lot of stuff. It's a very good company, and he has worked over there. And the best part is that Nikhil is a very good writer on Quora. He has a lot of views in it. He writes about credit cards. He writes about entrepreneurship. He writes about personal finance. So I'm very much pumped up for today's session because I think I'm going to extract as much knowledge as possible from Nikhil and give it to you people. I'm like super pumped. So let's bring him on to the show. So first of all, Nikhil, thank you so much for accepting my invitation and being my guest. It's like, my pleasure to have you here on my show. How do you feel to be on my show?
The pleasure is all mine, Anish. Thank you so much for inviting.
No, actually, after me starting the show, what I used to do is I used to look at all my LinkedIn connections and I used to see like, okay, who's like creating good content, like what are they trying to do, and that's when like I came across your profile. I think we've been connected for more than like 5-6 months now. I just came across your profile okay. And I knew that you are a very good, digital marketing specialist, and moreover you have worked in Growth School, which is actually very great, right? Like Growth School is like very good company. They're doing very good.
Yeah.
So I thought like, okay, I have to bring Nikhil onto my show to share his experience by working on, in a big companies, and moreover, like you're a very good writer on Quora as well. Like you're a lot of stuff about credit cards. So the pleasure is mine, Thank you so much again.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, do things at my part. I'm not sure if it is good, my content is good or not, but yeah, I'm just trying to do my part.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, like obviously, we just have to do our part, and at the end of the market gets to decide like which is good. And I think it's like really good because I have read your content and it's like really good. So, without further ado, actually since you have been working in very big companies, like I have actually curated few questions in my hand, like that I have in my hand right now. So I just thought of going one by one. So first question is that like, from all your experience working with big companies, what is the number one thing that you have learned so far? So, you have worked in Growth School, you have also, worked in like other companies. So like working in a very big companies, like what is that one thing that you have learned which is actually helpful in your career and, for future people like who wanted to get into a job or like what's that one big thing that you have learned?
First of all, I don't think they are the, big companies. They are high growth early stage startups. As in, yeah, they are famous than others. Growth School is famous enough. In fact, has been used for, since it was started. So the one great thing that I have learned is the importance of networking, obviously, because you meet great people, and once you meet these people in high growth startups, right? You kind of know that these startups kind of create a mafia, as we know about PayPal mafia. The employees who come out of PayPal, they create something great. Then in India we have Flipkart mafia, right?
True.
So some at some point of time, they are better to be friends with them and kind of engage and exchange the values and learnings with them. So that definitely helps. The thing is, if someone who wants to join these kind of companies, obviously, it's easier to get into these companies when you have a network again, which you might create in your career. So I joined Invact because I knew Manish already through my previous company. Then Vaibhav, actually I was referred to Growth School.
Okay.
One of the top performing employees. So Vaibhav had heard about me, and when I was open to work, that's when it becomes easier when you have a network to get into these companies. Otherwise, you will have to go through the normal HR process and everything.
And obviously, that doesn't give us that much importance, right? So, when you go through this normal HR round. And, I would love to add on something over, like when you said about network. Actually, I didn't know anything about network, to be frank. Like, I started all my journey right after 12th. But like after my high school, like I didn't know anything about social media. I didn't know that social media can give us like so much opportunities. It can even let us build an empire out of it. But like to be
Right.
frank, I never know anything of that. Like slowly I started learning. But slowly when I started getting to social media, that is when I understood the power of networking. I mean, without networking, I wouldn't be able to, invite you to my podcast. Like, if I wouldn't be like creating content, if I wouldn't be doing something to the, to the audience, like you wouldn't think that, like I don't see you anywhere like around. You're doing, you're not even doing any work. Like, why should I be on the show? Like, obviously people will get that thought, right? And I
Yeah.
like, that is when I understood. And to be frank, I think it's been like around 6-7 months that I've been like consistent on LinkedIn. That is when, after being on LinkedIn, after creating content and connecting with like you people, I've got a lot of connections. And from there, like I've got a lot of opportunities, to be frank. I mean, like
Exactly.
there are like people who try to, help us like when I am in need. And like there are like people you like, I've just invited you. I think we don't know much about each other, right? I've just invited you. You just, accepted my show. That's because, we've been like connected. That's the power of network. That's like really good. I think that's one thing people have to embrace, and being like kind of, I wouldn't say like they have to go to this extreme, this, extrovert and all. At least whenever they get a chance, they have to move out and talk to people, network, like talk to them, learn like what are they doing, share your experience and stuff like that. It'll be useful for you in the future, right?
Right. And there are multiple ways of, networking. It doesn't only mean that, you meet someone personally. Obviously, LinkedIn is a great platform.
True, true.
Even I have got a lot of opportunities, and, kind of create that authority within yourself.
True.
In fact, I recognize I recognize you from your DP that you have it here, that you have been interacting with my content.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's how I think you know there are, and your initial message was also good enough to So I obviously receive a lot of messages, so
True.
there are only few that I reply to. So not bragging, but that's how it is.
That makes sense. I mean, like obviously, when our network grows, we also have our work, right? There are like few
Yeah.
people who would just keep bombarding with your messages. Like we'll not have time to, keep
Right.
replying for every messages, right?
Yeah,
I get
and
that.
that is something you learn along the way. You
True.
start creating content and start meeting people. Initially,
True.
you won't, you may not have, that kind of a connection when you maybe visit one offline event. But once you consistently do it, right, you start seeing same faces again, and you kind of, create your own circle there. So that's really important in the career.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So I would just, love to move on to this growth school part. Like since you said like I've worked in growth, so like what is the culture of growth school? I mean, I'm just so much eager to know about this thing because as you said, even though they are not a very big company, but they have gained a lot of popularity. And I think,
Yeah.
they deserve that popularity because even I have taken a workshop, by Viber for this LinkedIn actually. And like I've learned a lot of stuff. And I think their content is like really valuable because they bring this, they have their tagline, right? This, we help our community by bringing top 1% of the experts,
Exactly.
right? So,
Yeah.
because of that, like I'm so much eager, like what is the culture in growth school? Because, I just want to emphasize one more point over here. You remember that, like, there was like issue with this Wipro, right? This moonlighting issues. It came. And that's when I saw a video from Vaibhav. He stated that, see, there's like nothing wrong in moonlighting, but the only thing is that people shouldn't be working in a competitive company and they shouldn't do another 9 to 5 job. They shouldn't have like 2 full-time jobs. But apart from that, in growth
Yeah.
school, I myself, we as a team, we are helping other people who are working in growth school to have their own startup. We are
Yeah.
doing those stuff. So in that sense, like what is the culture about growth school?
Yeah, so see, I have worked in 15 to 20 startups directly or indirectly.
Okay.
So Grow School is somewhere on the top in my when culture is considered. Obviously, because you work with amazing people, you meet amazing people there. So their selection process is very tough, to be very honest.
Okay.
They are very selective about people they hire, but the kind of the environment that they have created, the freedom of working, as in I'm not talking about remote working and all that. This is the freedom of experimentation, basically.
Okay.
So Vaibhav is always open to suppose you go with a plan that, hey, I want to try this. Vaibhav is always open to that. He'll allow you to do that, even if it involves a lot of cost. So as a career, if anyone can join growth school, especially in early ages, their career graph will look like a hockey stick. So
Okay.
they'll see a uptick there, they'll meet a lot of people there, and obviously now they have started doing events. So that gives a lot of opportunity, obviously connecting to my previous.
Yeah, obviously.
So about the entrepreneurship and moonlighting thing, yeah, Vaibhav is true in that point. That obviously you cannot work for a competitor, right? Because you will know trade secrets of both the companies,
True, true.
and it's not advisable to do that. And in growth school, I know there Vaibhav encourages, and growth school kind of becomes first client of their startup. So
Wow.
yeah, I think there is one tiffin service which is being run by one of the employees in growth school. So the food comes for growth school employees. And there is
Okay.
one, I think,
Yeah,
cold
I
press.
remember this actually. I think he stated this in one of his posts, I think. So actually we help, we have helped our employees to have their own catering services, like
Yeah,
catering
yeah,
business. I
yeah.
remember.
Yeah, and there's one most, mini startup about cold pressed juices. They also, so basically, Grow School becomes their first customer, orders
First custom.
and that supportive culture is obviously there, and that kind of gives you the boost, and you will see that Grow School has a very high retention in terms of employees. So hardly anyone leaves Grow School.
Okay.
So that says a lot about culture.
True, obviously, because when people keep jumping, I mean, like when there's like less retention, obviously it shows the culture, right? It like directly reflects the culture of the company.
Yeah,
Maybe like they're not doing good enough, but as you say, like since people are like always into that, company, like there's a lot of retention. It shows
yeah,
like how good they are taking care of their employees, like supportive, being supportive. That's like
exactly.
really great. But this was like really, kind of, different. As you said, like growth school is their first customer. That was like kind of different.
Yeah, yeah. So usually, what we have seen in traditional, companies or startups, the founders or the company gets a little bit insecure that when someone
Mm-hmm.
starts a startup within the company, right?
Okay.
So in that way, Vaibhav is very supportive. It's completely 180-degree opposite. He'll support you. In fact, if you need connections or he may also connect you with a few people in your basically who can help you in growing your startup.
Got it. Makes sense. Totally. Yes. That's like really good. So next, I would love to know, since you have been into this hacking, I mean, growth hacking also, right? Like you have done a lot of growth hacking. So what is your best growth hack you have ever seen or done? Like, so far in your career, because I just heard like one growth hack from Vaibhav, like he's also into growth hacking, right? So
Yeah.
I remember once he told me that, Instagram has this profile picture. I mean, like when we post a story, it shows up, right? Like, a kind of light shows up, right? When we click on that, we'll know that this guy, particular, I mean, Sanish has posted a story. We'll know that, right? So what he thought is like, he thought even he'll do the same thing in LinkedIn actually. I mean, I have a profile photo which shows that there's actually story in it. But that time, actually, in that point of time, there was like no story on LinkedIn. I mean, later on they brought stories, but now they shut down. But at that point of time, there's like no story. But like
Yeah.
what Vaibhav did is he purposely put like, kind of a profile picture similar to Instagram. So what people does is like they thought like, is this something similar to Instagram? Is this having like story? So they started
Mhm.
clicking on that. So when people comes to your profile, obviously from the next time, LinkedIn will know that, okay, this guy has clicked this profile. Now we have to show a content to this guy. So,
Correct.
that's a kind of growth hack, right? So similar to the, like, what is the best growth you have seen or done?
Yeah. So I recently came across one of the growth hacks done by Ninja Cart. Ninja Cart is a grocery startup.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So remember when onion prices were somewhere around 100 rupees per kg.
Yeah.
So they actually, they actually, ordered 10 tons of A grade quality onions
Mm-hmm.
and from Pune, and they
Okay.
handpicked to ensure the
Mm-hmm.
high quality, and they started selling it for rupees one. Sorry,
Oh.
rupee one. Yeah.
Oh.
So
Okay.
that was their marketing strategy as to to acquire users. So this campaign ran for 2 days, and within
Mm-hmm.
2 days they acquired 20,000 users.
Oh my God.
Apart from that, they were trending on Google Play Store. Their organic search increased by 13 times. So these were some of the metrics that they had shared. So these days, Facebook ads, all the ad platform is getting expensive, right? So
True.
if you have, so on an average, you have acquisition cost of 500 rupees.
Yeah. And that's like very high for, I mean, if you take the Zomato and all, like they are like spending even more than that, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And when it comes to, the fintech app or any Web3 app, crypto app, it's somewhere around, I think, 1,500 or 2,000. But this
That's
hack
huge.
of Ninja Cart, right? They were able to acquire users below 100 rupees. So they kind of, that's also known as, I think, movement marketing. They kind of,
Got it.
took the advantage of the moment, and they came up with this growth hack of selling onions in 1 rupee, where when everyone was struggling to get onions. So
Makes sense.
yeah, this was one of the amazing growth hacks I recently came across.
Yeah, and I think I've written about this in Quora, right?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
other day when I was like going through a profile to know more about you, I just read
yeah.
this story as well.
Yeah, now I'm actually creating a video as well.
Okay.
I've started doing videos on LinkedIn. So
I mean, I saw, I think from yesterday I've started, right? If I'm not
yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
Yeah.
from 2023. So
You told you just wanted to do it as a video content creation from 2023.
I'm
Yes.
creating a video on this as well. So maybe
Great.
next week or something.
That's awesome. Have you done any growth hacking so far, Nikhil? Like, what's your experience in that?
Uh, Not really. I'm more into, I'm more into performance marketing, and
Okay.
actually, this one hack that I did, I basically broke the rule of internet. So when you visit a website, right, how do you imagine a website? There is a content on the left-hand side and then image on the right, right?
Yep.
So there is a study that our left eye actually catches it connects your image to the right hemisphere of your brain, which is
Oh,
informational or
okay.
very logical,
Okay.
and your right eye kind of it connects to creativity. There is something to be very honest, I forgot about it. I think the left one connects to the creative side and the right one connects to the logical
Okay.
side.
Got
But
it.
when
Got
you
it.
look at the website, right, it kind of it is completely opposite. So at Code Vidya, what I did was I moved the image to the left and the content at the right, just to try it out what happens next. Right. So
Okay.
our conversion rate actually increased by I think almost 20%.
Wow.
So
So you just did this, you just broke this traditional thing. Like you just
yeah,
moved that, like vice versa, like from left to right. That's all.
right, right. So
Okay.
this one small thing that I did, and the conversion rates
Conversion.
increased. Yeah. So
I think
this was
this clearly shows that like we have to do a lot of experimentation. I mean, like not only experimentation, there are like sometimes if you like break the rules, it's gonna give you like good results. Like it's
yeah,
not like always that you have to play within the rules, right? Like even we can try to go out of the rules and do
yeah.
something different.
Yeah, so there is no, hard and fast rule in marketing. So you have to keep experimenting, keep coming up with new things. I mean, learn
Obviously.
from Apple about, breaking status quo, removing the headphone jack,
Exactly. Exactly.
everything. Yeah.
True.
So, yeah, that's how it is.
Makes sense. And next is like about technology. I think we have seen how technology is like being rapidly grown, especially I think for the past 1 month, our social media platforms and headlines everywhere it's been bombarded with this AI, right? Like how AI is going to take over this, that, and like we've been seeing, right? So what is your take on this? Like how should technology be adapted for businesses in India? I mean, especially small businesses. Like, even today there are like small businesses, they doesn't understand the power of social media. They don't run a lot of ads. They still
Yeah.
lack this, digital marketing stuff. Like they try to do this traditional marketing. So like, what do you think about that? Like how should small businesses be adapted?
Uh, when it comes to marketing, I think they need more education in terms of,
You
so
mean
see, they
this
want
awareness, right?
yeah, awareness, and they want to play very safe initially, unless you show someone, see how ads and everything got popular, right? And the funded startups actually started investing in ads. They saw great results. They shared their learnings and everything. Then it slowly went into, the non-funded startups. Even
Got it.
individuals also started doing that. So if you somehow show, the benefit of that, so here education and awareness becomes really important to make sure the adaptability. For example, take the small shops in Bangalore, almost every shop has 3 or 4 QR codes of Bharat
Oh,
Pay, Paytm, Phone Pay, right? So even the cart, right? I mean, the vegetable cart will have that Paytm ka QR code.
got it, got it.
So that's they have been able to penetrate that market because I remember when Zomato was initially, starting their delivery service, I used to see that, people visiting and explaining very delicately to the shopkeepers and
Hmm.
the store owners about how it can help them and how it is very risk free basically.
Okay.
So all they have to do is, list on the
List on the
Zomato
app.
and
Yeah.
yeah, pay 20 or 30% commission when they get an order. There's no hidden
Mm-hmm.
charges in that.
Hidden charge. Okay.
So sorry, there's no registration charges in that. So so basically give them an opportunity to try it out. That's how I think it will be easier for people to adapt technology.
Yeah. And moreover, when you talk about this UPI, this QR, right?
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
like you look at the social media and about this ads and marketing, right? That's been there for like literally more than a decade. But this UPI
Mhm.
was not like that. But I mean, like, have you seen the adaptability for this UPI, right? Because see, you take on the one side, like we have social media, that's not been adapted even now. If you look at
Mhm.
like few companies, but UPI is not like that. UPI has been like adapted just like that. As you said, like
Mhm.
even like a very small shop also has this QR code, and like very big shop also. Like even as you said, like even this small vegetable shops also they has this QR code like UPI.
Mhm.
That's like really great. Like I mean, like India they have produced this wonderful product, this UPI, and that's been like adapted literally by every shops in every nook and corner.
Correct. So I think government has been also supportive about it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's there, and since there are no charges when you give people something for free, right? I mean,
Obviously,
so they'll try it out anyways.
obviously.
So
I
when
mean, in
they,
Indian culture, we have this, right? Like, we try to either go for so low as possible or like free. We
yeah,
don't, prefer paying high prices.
yeah. So now it's basically habit creation. So they actually saw that, okay, so what problem did UPI solve? So there
Hmm.
used to be a problem of, the change, 1 rupee, 2 rupee. There were a lot of things.
Yeah,
Customers used to get toffees instead of 1 or 2
exactly.
rupees.
Yeah.
Right? So that was basically solved without any cost, right? So even now, if suppose UPI charges, let's say 5 or 10 rupees per 100th transaction, they'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
So
I would say that's true because like we've been used to this, right? And moreover, like it
mm,
doesn't show like it's a very, big amount.
yeah. So
As you
the
said, this
ease and everything
habitat,
like that.
that habitation that
Yeah,
has like grown in us.
yeah.
Yes. Now, actually, this is like totally apart, so far, like we've talked about the social media, this technology. Now, I just wanted to come to this finance part, actually, since you said like you're more into this
Okay.
finance as well. Like, what is the real truth about EMIs? I mean, like, every day, including me, I think most people were not able to afford to get some things at once, doing the full down
Mm,
payment.
mm,
We obviously have this
mm.
so-called no-cost EMI, right? So like actually what is the
Yeah,
real
yeah.
truth about those EMIs? Is it like really no cost or like does it have a lot of cost hidden in it?
Not a lot of cost. So before I go and talk about finance, just a
Hmm.
disclaimer: I'm not a
Got it.
finance expert.
Got it. Got
These
it.
are my opinions, and
True.
if anyone takes advice, please research and do your own
Obviously.
research and take
Do your
decisions.
own research.
Yeah, yeah. So see, EMIs are first thing is if you are taking EMI, obviously you cannot afford the product. That's completely
Yeah, that's true.
established, right? But the sad part is no cost EMIs. They are being forced upon by some uh, agents or some people. So I remember one of someone went to an electronic shop and to buy an AC,
Hmm.
and he was able to pay everything in a one shot, but the store owner was kind of insisting to take that EMI, a no cost EMI. So what
Okay.
happens there is, in no cost EMI, so obviously you actually acquired on behalf of bank, you acquired a user for them, right?
Hmm.
They kind of get a commission for that. That is one thing. And second thing is, they kind of bet on, your inability to pay. So 2,000 rupees per month may seem like ठीक है इतना तो कमा लेते हैं,
True,
right?
true.
But even if you miss one single EMI, there will be a late fee of 500 plus GST.
Oh my
That
God.
very moment.
That's equal to another EMI for next
Yeah,
month.
yeah. So I've seen such cases as well where someone has paid fine amount a lot. Even I think I when I was bad at personal finance,
Mm-hmm.
I have paid a lot of interest when compared to the principal amount. So even if you miss one single EMI, you will be kind of the late charges may be more than the EMI itself. And second thing is these EMIs have one hidden cost that is GST on the EMI, I guess. So no
Okay.
one talks about it. So if you take a larger 1 lakh rupees ka EMI and convert into 10,000 for 10 months, there will be a small GST amount as well on that, which is nowhere mentioned. The bank that just comes with your statement, and the amount is so small that you kind of ignore, but that is something that adds up to it.
Yeah, it's up. I mean, at the end of the day, like even most people like who are not into this personal finance, they don't look at the statements, right? We just directly think, okay, this is the amount. Okay, fine. I mean, like we just look at this total. We don't
Yeah,
like look at those breakdown and look those statements.
yeah. So luckily, I think Grid has done a good job in that. I think they kind of give a split of what was the additional charges that you were charged, so you can see it
Okay.
in one single screen. But again, I never used that feature, obviously,
I mean, like
because
even I don't actually, I don't own a credit card right now. Like since I'm a student, like I don't own a credit card right now. But I kind of, I'm kind of like trying to understand the power of credit card because, like, people say that credit card is like really powerful. But the disclaimer is that when you know how to use it, provided you know how to use it. It's not like
correct.
just you have a credit card and just do whatever you with it. So, yeah, okay. So I just wanted to come back to this part. Like, what is your take on this credit card? Like, how should people get educated on credit card? Because as you know, when we hear the word credit cards, we obviously think that, no man, like, we're going to spend a lot of money in it and,
Yeah,
we're just going to get into a lot of debt. But on the other hand, like, if we know how to use it properly, there's a lot of benefits in it. So, like, can you
correct.
just, shed a little bit light on credit card?
So, see, I have been a that person who was trapped by credit card and then came out of it. Uh,
Okay.
there was a time when I maxed out all my credit cards and then slowly paid, the minimum due and everything, and then came out of it, the debt part. So, see, credit cards are like, how I'm just giving an analogy.
Okay.
A very sharp knife which
Mm-hmm.
can cut your vegetables very perfectly, but
Perfectly.
it may also hurt you, right?
Provided you know how
So,
to do it properly.
yeah, exactly. So, see, they are very powerful in the sense, now that, I have studied a lot about personal finance, watched hundreds of videos. So now I only use credit card, even though I have a very bad experience with credit cards.
Okay.
Because, see, what happens is, it plays with your psychology. Suppose your salary is 1 lakh rupees, they'll easily give you, the limit of 3 lakhs. They
Okay.
want you to be trapped in that,
Mm-hmm.
that you spend way more than your capability, so that they can keep earning on interest. So one thing about credit card is why I'm using it proactively now and why I only use credit cards wherever I can is because, see, what happens is in credit cards you get 50 days ka free interest free period, as in you don't get any interest charge added for 50 days.
Mm-hmm.
So in that 50 days, your savings account, right, that kind of gets a little bit of interest, 3% or whatever it is. I mean, depending upon what
Yeah,
the
depending
bank
upon
gives.
bank. Yeah.
So, you also got an interest-free, small lending from someone, and you kind of got interest here as well, from the bank, and then you would repay the credit card bill, whatever it is. So, that way you are, still making money while using credit card. Second thing is obviously the benefit it comes with the airport lounges,
Mm-hmm.
some credit cards have golf access, some may have, the diners club have, discount in restaurants and all that. So these benefits are there, and you kind of save a lot of money if you know how to use it.
Okay, so
So
do
yeah.
you have any go-to resource to learn about credit cards, like for free? Like, do you have anything in mind?
I think if you want to, understand everything in layman's terms, I think you can obviously learn it from Ankur Warikoo. He has a video on that.
Okay,
Then second is recently AVTV has created a video on that,
okay,
how it can be used. So that's how it is. So see, it completely depends on your psychology and if your control, if you can control something. So if you want to get started with credit card, I would, kind of advise you to take only like 20,000 ki limit ka credit card, right?
okay.
Don't jump for 3 lakhs and don't jump behind, the limits and all. Start small, learn how to use it, and then slowly enhance your this thing.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
I think I've come across this video on credit cards from Ankur Warikoo, but this AVTV I have not come across. But to all those audience like who are watching, just make note of it. Like if you wanted to learn about this credit card, I mean like AVTV and Ankur Warikoo. I mean like as you know, like there's a lot of other people as well, but like these two people like kind of teach you in a very layman terms, as you
Yeah.
said. Yeah. So next, I just wanted to. This is a generic question that everybody asks. So
Okay.
what is your take on entrepreneurship in current world? I mean, like when we ask about take on entrepreneurship, like we can speak a lot about stuff, but I just wanted to, get your understanding of about an entrepreneurship in this current world because you see, nowadays people think that it's kind of fancy to become an entrepreneur, to put in, behind the names like Anish, entrepreneur, like into this, like,
Yeah.
it has become this fancy, right, due to the social media. But at the end
Yeah.
of the day, they don't speak this groundwork, the ground things that we have to do in order to become a very good entrepreneur. So, like, what is your take on that in this current world?
So see, it's very easy to become entrepreneur these days. All you need is an internet, laptop, and the correct mindset that you need. But it is also not for everyone. Very honestly. Sorry if I'm breaking few dreams here of the audience, but
That's okay.
it's
Sometimes we
very
have to break those things.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it entrepreneurship comes with a lot of sacrifices. Your lifestyle, your the security of monthly payment and everything. So all the success stories that you hear, they are not kind of they were not done overnight, right? I mean,
True.
I think almost every founder has kind of spent I think 3 or 4 months without salary. So if you are ready for those challenges, and also 9 out of 10 startups fail.
Yeah,
So
that's even
that's the
true.
reality. I mean, there can be multiple reasons. There are a lot of videos about the reasons why startups fail, but yeah, I mean it's difficult, but it's worth doing. It teaches you a lot. In fact, it will teach you more than your job. So everyone should try it once. Don't get emotionally invested into it. Do small again, do small, and don't leave your job. Unless you make at least like 50% of your salary. So a lot of people, what they do is they get overexcited by watching TVS pictures or other social media posts and everything.
Exactly.
If I am at I'll मतलब मैं शिद्दत से करूँगा शिद्दत if it's like devotion kind of a thing.
Okay,
मैं
okay.
शिद्दत से करूँगा तो I'll be successful. That's not how it works.
That's true, true.
Requires a lot of learnings and everything. So yeah, I mean try it. Don't leave your job unless you make some money, and then once you start making money, obviously you will figure out things.
Yeah, obviously. And it's like, the thing is like, as you said, like we are trying to run behind this fancy things, right? Like as you said, like entrepreneurship has become this kind of, fancy. So I would say like, as you said, it's okay, we can try it out, but like don't try it for the sake of this fame, this personality
Yeah.
thing. Rather like,
Yeah.
if you have like a really very good passion, if you think that, yes, I wanted to, pursue this, then we can go ahead. And as you said, even like we have to start small and then like kind of take this. If you're not able to have this proper mindset, if you're not able to bear the risks that that is associated with it, it's better we
Yeah.
start doing it small. If you think, okay, no matter like how much ever, things comes to me, like I'm kind of okay, I can bear with this. And if you have that kind of support, maybe I think we can go, right?
Yeah. Again, personal branding will help you a lot in terms
True.
of if
So
you
true.
start something. So start creating content and like Anish and I are doing on LinkedIn and everywhere. So
Exactly. Actually, I just wanted to end this by talking about content creation. I mean, like,
okay.
to be frank, actually, content creation also, I wouldn't say it's saturated, but everywhere people are saying that you have to create content, you have to create content, right? So, like, what is your take on that particular thing in this, current scenario? Actually, if you look at all the platforms, their attention span comes and goes. I think like for the past 5-6 years ago, like we had Instagram and then TikTok came, and now we have LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Like slowly, like, all this stuff happens, right? And like everybody are saying that you have to create content, you have to create content. So, like, what is your take on content creation in the present world, this current?
We already have information overload on the internet. There is a lot of information, millions of websites, pages, and videos. But still content creators are kind of making their way out of it by obviously selecting a niche and trying out new strategies. So if you still write, if you still depend a lot on SEO and 1500 2000 words ka blog post, it can be little difficult, but in long run, obviously it will help. But now that these platforms have come, like Instagram Reels, and obviously attention span is lowering a lot. I think now it is 15 seconds or something.
True.
So even in 15 seconds you have to strategize. The first 3 seconds will be for your hook. Then,
Obviously.
If you are able to catch their interest, then they'll watch your whole the retention part basically.
Obviously.
So select your niche, what you are expert at, be yourself. That's one. And so this is something you have to this is something you cannot change. It's more about who are you as a person. So for example, from tomorrow onwards, suddenly I start talking about technology on LinkedIn. So a lot of followers, of mine won't, it won't make any sense for them what this guy is talking about, right? So from the beginning, kind of focus on your niche, understand who are your, whom do you want to deliver your content. Like for if I write for founders and marketers, there can be many things I can cover in that. So don't fall behind impressing the general public. I see that a lot of people actually create content hoping that everyone would like my content. That doesn't how it works. Do a little bit of research initially that how do you want to whom do you want to cater your content to. And obviously learn more about algorithms and everything, and I think you will see success there as well.
Got it.
And start with Reels and Shorts because they are pretty much new, and both the platforms, I mean YouTube and Instagram, they are pushing that content a lot in front of many people.
True.
Start with that. Maybe if you can skip the traditional part of writing blogs now, maybe obviously do it, but don't focus too much into it. Try everything, go omni-channel, and then see what is working for you.
Makes sense. And when you said that there's already billions of content, I mean billions of information that's present already. I remember like once this finance with Sharan, I think when he was doing an interview, I mean when figuring out actually Raj Shamani was doing an interview with finance with Sharan, he just told that you see like already there's a lot of information out there available, including finance, you name it, anything, just like everything. The only thing what matters now is like how are you communicating it, like how creative are you telling your story. Obviously, as you said, there's like information and right from 1900s, like we have a lot of information, but the only thing is like from your perspective, from your side, like how are you telling your story? That's what really matters, because you see you and me might tell the same thing, but there are people who might only love the way you tell. Though we both are sharing the same message, like, right, people will obviously tell, okay, I'm kind of comfortable with how Nikhil tells his story. I'm able to understand like how Nikhil tells his story. So I'm going to listen and follow Nikhil. Or in some case, I'm going to follow Anish. Like, it happens, right? So it's like the way we put out our story.
Correct. So, yeah, I mean, you will have your own style of telling things, and people will specifically like your, way of giving that knowledge, basically. So,
Exactly. And that
yeah,
is why, people say that you have to be authentic when you're creating content. You just have to be you when you're creating
Hmm.
content. I mean, see, actually, currently, when we look at Reels, when you look at TikTok and all, people, do this double acting and all. They do a lot of, this
Yeah,
dancing, those stuff, right? And most people, have this misconception that even I have to do the same in order to grab the people's
Hmm.
attention. Though they might not be comfortable doing like that. So that's that one thing that
Yeah,
kind
correct.
of people kind of have this misconception. They kind of understand that even I have to do the same thing, but that's not the case. Like if you're not comfortable in dancing in front of reel, just talk. That's not an issue
Mhm.
because that's how you tell your story, and people are gonna love the way you tell your story, not when you copy others and do it, right?
Right. And exactly, I mean, whatever works for you. If you are an introvert, maybe, write on LinkedIn. You
True.
have
A
audience for
platform.
that as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, a platform. Yeah. So, whatever works for you, I mean, try everything. I would say there's nothing wrong in copying, the style, but
Yeah.
yeah, if from the heart, if you are not, comfortable with that, don't do
True.
it,
True.
obviously,
Don't
because
do
you
it.
won't be able to do it for a long time. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So, Nikhil, that's what like these are things that I have curated for you to be answered, and it was like really great session. So, any final thoughts that you wanted to share with me and to my? Actually, by the way, I just wanted to tell one thing over here is that this awareness hub. Actually,
Mhm.
why have I started? Is there are like two core things. One is I love speaking actually. I wanted to get into public speaking and I thought like this might be the start. Like, if I become comfortable in front of camera, interviewing these things. So maybe slowly I can get into schools, giving talks and stuff like that. So that's one thing. And
Mhm.
number two is that the place where I am growing, right, my surroundings, it's like very
Yeah.
sad to say that there are still many people who doesn't know what is even freelancing, who doesn't know the power of
Oh.
content creation, who doesn't know that social media can give you so much, if you do something out of it. So this
Mhm.
awareness hub is actually, I thought like, okay, I just wanted to do this and kind of create an awareness about all the things that are happening in the world, right from content creation to Web3 to AI. Actually,
Mhm.
right, there's a lot of stuff that's happening that are, the
Yeah.
world is getting even more competitive. So in that context, I thought I've created this, and by bringing people like you, I just wanted to give in more awareness to my people, whomever like I am staying around with. So
I
any
mean, yeah,
thoughts to those?
yeah, sure. I mean, that's a great initiative to start with. We need more people like you who, instead of complaining, they are taking an action of doing
Mm-mm-mm.
something about it, right? So that becomes really important. Uh, you know, so it may happen that so that's how our country is developing, right? I mean, you give them knowledge, they become interested into something. That's how even I became a marketer. I just, I think randomly some video would have come, or I had
True.
overheard some people
Mm-hmm.
talking about Google, how things work. So now I am I work with companies like Grow School and everything. So that's how things start. And it's it's people like you, the content creators, who kind of create that awareness. So yeah, obviously, really great initiative. All the best for
Thank you so
awareness.
much. Thank you so much. I would love for you to, even have another session in the future, maybe like, to talk
Uh,
even more things like maybe we can get deep down into credit cards, like how to actually, use credit cards and stuff like that.
yeah,
I'm gonna, I know. And by the way, it was like so great. Thank you so much once again for accepting my invitation and giving your, time with me and spending and,
yeah.
sharing your knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anish. Thank you for inviting.
Yeah.